Hey, welcome back. It's the Fan Sports Network, and the college football season is getting closer and closer, a little closer than other programs for the Southern Utah University Thunderbirds. And here to talk all things T-Birds, head football coach Delane Fitzgerald joining us now. And, Coach, great to have you on the show. You guys are right in the middle of fall camp, and I know August 31st, ASU, that is going to be here before we know it.
Devin and Paul, thank you guys for having me. Happy to talk football this morning.
Yeah, Coach, how is fall camp going compared to last year? First year last year, and now you're stepping in. Do you feel like you're further ahead this year than you were last year?
Devin, we're a lot further ahead. We may be 3 or 4 times better than we were last fall. Excited about the progress the men have made in the offseason.
And, Coach, we talk about the early season, and I've always loved schools that go out and test themselves in the early non-conference play, and you guys got some big boys on the slate. Arizona State, visit the Sun Devils in Tempe, and then a trip up to Provo to play the Cougars. What's the feel around the team and maybe the shock the world element that might happen, and what's the outlook on those 2 games?
Yeah, Paul, call it what it is now. We're paying for the non-revenue sports here to be able to play this year. So that's what we're doing first and foremost. But as far as the shock element, we like our football team, but we're not looking ahead, and we're trying to improve ourselves. And our guys are working really, really hard to be their best self each and every day, and working on energy and enthusiasm and just playing football really, really hard right now. We're going to take these first couple of games just like you should take them, and we'll get prepared for each one at a time. And then we're going to make our road trips and play as hard as we can possibly play for 3 hours, collect our check, and come home.
How is Justin Miller, now a veteran signal caller, how's his fall camp going, Coach, and how important is he leadership-wise to this team and the success you guys are planning on having this season?
Yeah, Justin's playing really well. Justin's playing really well, and he's playing like a 25-year-old married returned missionary should play. I laugh. Justin been out of high school a long, long time now. But he's like a coach on the field, and he's making decisions and making really, really accurate throws. And we're excited about how much better he is than last year. Devin, he had a great off-season strength conditioning. So he's bigger, faster, stronger, and those things are helping him when he's trying to execute in the run game and in the pass game, doing better things there. And then Grady Robinson is pushing him for playing time at the quarterback position, and we're excited about the strides that Grady's made. Guys, Grady Robinson may be the fastest player in this conference with the football in his hands. So we're going to utilize him in a lot of different situations this fall also.
And, Coach, you gave us a quote that we use on the show basically on a weekly basis, the portal giveth and taketh. Who are some of the additions and subtractions for you guys this season?
Paul and Devin, if y'all start using my quotes now, they're going to shut y'all's show down pretty quickly.
We like that quote.
Yeah, the portal giveth and the portal taketh away. That's a fact. And what you have to do is you have to evaluate better than everybody else. If you evaluate the portal kids better than everybody else on your schedule, you do pretty well. But I don't think it matters what you do as a coach or as a university or as an athletic program these days. I think you're going to have 5 or 6 kids a year take the train at a minimum. At a minimum, I think you're going to have a half a dozen leave. For us, we revamped the DB position. And we brought in some DBs, and we've got a kid in here that played in every game at Pittsburgh last year that we're really excited about. We brought in a corner from BYU that's doing a nice job, and then brought in a corner from UNLV that's exciting. I like the small college kids. So we took a graduate transfer from an NAIA school in the Midwest, and he's going to be a difference maker, but a 4-year starter there, counting the COVID season, doing a nice job for us here. We took a safety from a Big 12 school that we're excited about, and we took a safety from Kansas that we're excited about, and he's catching on and coming on and doing some good things there. I'll leave out some of the portal players, getting to talking to them. Well, one of our biggest additions is we took the starting running back from Snow College, and Targi Lamson's going to be a difference maker for us here this fall, and we're excited about him. Guys, we brought in 8 or 9 portal kids that are good players and going to play for us, and I'll forget somebody. The best one of them all is Rob Horsey. Rob Horsey joined us from Frostburg State, and he was a 4-year starter at Frostburg State. And guys at the nose guard position, he got double teamed every single play last year, made 60 or 61 tackles, was a runner-up player of the year in that conference. But he's been elected team captain here and is a war daddy now. So at the end of the year, Robert's going to have between 30 and 50 tackles and somewhere around 10 sacks and be just a huge difference maker in the middle of the field.
And Coach, Frostburg State, you're talking in Maryland. Is that correct? Is that your East Coast ties playing in here?
That's my last job, Paul. Those were the last foolish people to cut me a check before SUU. So yeah, I'm partial to those ties.
Paulie's going to slip in a James Madison question too, because he knows you're a Dookie, right, Paulie? Don't you got something up your sleeve?
Absolutely. I feel like they were taking away something that was theirs, Coach. Is that right? That Sun Belt Conference Championship game?
Yeah, by far the best team in the Sun Belt last year, and didn't get a chance to play for the Sun Belt title because they're transitioning from FCS to D1. Same boat this year. They might be the best team in that conference for 3 straight years and not even get an opportunity to play in a conference championship game. Pretty funny. Paul, we brought up Frostburg. It happened to us. We were NCAA D3 at Frostburg State, and I don't know, we won 50-some games in 5 years. We moved from D3 to D2. We won the conference our second year of Division II, and weren't eligible to make the NCAA playoffs because we were transitioning from D3 to D2. So I've been on as a JMU fan, I've been on that end of it, and as a coach, I've been on that end of it too.
Coach Fitzgerald, SUU football coach, hanging out with us, talking all things T-Birds and college football in general. Coach, while we're on, we'll get back to the T-Birds in a second, but when you see the Pac-12 seemingly crumble in a matter of hours, what goes through your mind as a coach in college football?
How bad the Pac-12 leadership was. Everyone should have seen that coming a mile back, but 10 years ago, we were talking about the Pac-12 and how they might eat up the Big 12. Taking Colorado and they took Colorado and then taking more of those Midwestern teams and just making a super conference out here. But the leadership was stale. The leadership didn't have any foresight, and anyway, ruined what should have been a really, really good conference.
Yeah. I mean, as a kid that grew up going to Apple Cups as a kid, it's sad to see, and we'll see what ends up happening ultimately. Down to four. But let's get back to T-Bird football.
Yeah,
Isaiah Wood.
Want to gossip and play some what if?
Sure.
Oh, the rumor this weekend is that the Pac-4 is going to reach out and take some of the Mountain West teams. And once they reach out and take the Mountain West teams, they're going to kick they'll kick San Jose State and Nevada Reno out of the Pac-12 or the Mountain West or whatever you want to call it, and those two schools will end up going FCS. That was one of the rumors. Another. I won't get into all the rumors, but there were rumors about how much it would affect FCS out west, because if the Pac-4 come in and take 7 or 8 of those Mountain West teams, if the Pac-4 takes 7 or 8 of those Mountain West teams, then the Mountain West is going to reach out and take 4 or 5 of the Big Sky teams, and we're just going to have a big old scramble in the Western United States for where everybody's headed as far as conferences.
Yeah, that's definitely something that could happen. And you look at least the WAC was proactive and merged with the UAC. What's your thoughts on that with this conference 6-game slate that you guys will play this year?
Yeah, I like the merger. I think the name and the logo are terrible. The logo is the name of the conference is extremely unoriginal, and then the logo is it's like they stole something from the post office and United Airlines and kind of combined it for a logo. Now, I think the conference is great. I think it is at 9 universities that are on the uptick, and then we add Rio Grande and 25. So it'll be 10 universities that are headed in the right direction. I think it has a lot of fun. I would say this, maybe the most balanced conference top to bottom in FCS football. And I don't know exactly how many conferences there are, but let's say there's 20-ish. It's more balanced than any of the other conferences, because all the conferences have and have nots. Our conference has 5 schools that can win a title this year, and no other conference has that.
Yeah, good stuff. Delane Fitzgerald, SUU Thunderbird football coach, hanging out with us here on the show. Coach, let's bring it back to the T-Birds. What's the message in fall camp? What are some of the big strides and in areas you're trying to improve upon in year 2 as head coach compared to year 1, where you're just trying to piece things together, get to know the kids, and trying to get things going? Now you got a year under your belt. What's that messaging like?
Yeah, we return most of our players. So the message is this: is how can we be our best selves at the end of each day? What do we have to do to get 1% better each day? And we've got practice in the morning and weightlifting and 2 meetings and a walkthrough. So we're doing a lot during the day. What can we do to be our best self at the end of each day and during each day? And then how can we get better? We've worked on coming together as a team, some team bonding activities, and just galvanizing ourselves. So when the rubber does meet the road and we go through some adversity, that we stick together and stay together. So we've worked on some of that. And then, Devin, there's been an uptick in our preaching about physicality. Can we play fast? Can we play extremely fast and be extremely physical? But all we've done is take all the messages that we've given the young men since we've been here and just try to polish some rough edges off of those messages and off of our players.
And, Coach, kind of a nuts and bolts question here. What improvements need to be made to improve converting chances in the red zone? You guys scored a touchdown on 26 of 49 red zone trips, had to settle for 11 field goals. What's going to be some improvements made to the red zone offense this year?
Yeah, Paul, if we'd have hit 2 or 3 of those field goals, we were 7-4 instead of 5-7. Our resolve on both sides of the football. Our resolve in the red zone has to be better. And what do good football teams do when they hit the red zone? Well, they don't do anything different than they've done in the rest of the drive, but they dial it in, that they focus in and just execute the play call better than they've done it before. And then on the defensive side of the ball, what do good defenses do? Well, you start to feel your back against the wall. You bear down, you focus more, you play harder, you play a lot more physical in the red zone. We've got to do those things on both sides of the ball.
Coach Fitzgerald hanging out with us, T-Birds, getting ready for August 31st at Arizona State. I'm just curious, how happy is Brady Meeson during practices right now, your wide receiver coach? I mean, you got Wooden coming back, and that's obviously a position that you got some playmakers in. How do the receivers look so far in fall camp, Coach?
Yeah, our receiving core is really good. We returned our top 3 receivers from last year. They're healthy and running around and making plays. Devin, we have 3 or 4 young men that redshirted last year that are the real deal. So our young wide receivers are up and coming and going to be special, and we're excited about that. Got guys on the offensive side of the ball. We're better at every single position than we were last year. We had two tight ends went in the portal as soon as the season ended last year, and I was worried about that position, but not after 2 weeks of camp. I'm not. Those young men have gotten in the weight room in the last year and got a lot better on the football field. You brought up Brady. Hey, let's talk bad about Brady while he's not in the room. Brady and Tacey had their second child recently, just a month or 2 ago. So Brady's got a 1.5-year-old, maybe a 2-year-old, and a newborn. I don't think Brady's getting much sleep, so his level of happiness might be down a little bit.
Probably going to cut into his off-season golf time too, if I had to guess.
Hey. I saw him at Cedar Ridge a lot less this year than I did the year before.
Hey, how is your new running backs and your recruiting coordinator, Darius G. Smith, the best-dressed coach in the business? How has he fit into your staff since pulling him away from the ARMAC?
Yeah. Darius and I were part-time coaches and roommates 20-some years ago.
Really?
So one of my better, Darius, one of my better friends in the world. But getting Darius here was a little bit of a coup for us, and we're excited about having him here as a recruiting coordinator. He's done a great job recruiting and done a great job with the organization part of the recruiting stuff here and the compliance part that needed to be done. But then at the running back position, we've upgraded at the running back position, and we bring Braden Whistler back from last year. And then we've added Targy Lamson, who I spoke about before. Jordan Jefferson's playing better than he has in the past. And then brought in Arizona transfer James Bowles and Sioux Falls graduate transfer Landon Freeman. Here's a stat for you. Landon Freeman rushed for 2,000 yards at Sioux Falls, never started a football game. I thought that's an interesting one.
Wow.
And then Juab product Cade Bowering is doing a nice job for us at the running back position. Been a little bit of a surprise. Didn't know how it would translate from playing. You play running back at JUAB, go on a 2-year church mission, and then come home. And I didn't know how it would translate to this level, but he's good. Young man's a good football player, playing hard. Hey, he's a coach's kid, and his dad played here 30 years ago, but Cade's doing a nice job for us.
Yeah, I like that. I like that tie-in. I like that dad was there and he's playing where his dad played. That's an awesome story. I love to hear it. Paulie, go ahead.
And Coach, in our neck of the woods, at least I know I did, and I know you did too, growing up on Beamer ball, that special teams impact, that winning 3 sides of the ball, who are going to be some of your special teams guys that stick out this year?
Yeah, it's funny you brought it. My brother played for Frank Beamer. My brother was a member of the 99 team that lost the national title. So, partial to Virginia Tech and partial to the way they built that program on special teams. Paul, I would say that while we're on the subject, our daughter just graduated from Virginia Tech a year ago, so our oldest. But yeah, got some Hokie ties there.
Congrats.
We have upgraded the speed in our football program. Our overall speed and the way we run is so much better than it was last year, and we did it bringing in freshmen that can run and then bringing in transfers that could run. It's going to equate to us blocking kicks and returning kicks. We held Isaiah Wooden out of a lot of games last year because he was so important to us on offense. But he'll return kicks and punts this fall and be electric in doing that, and we're excited about that. But then some of those other young men, we're going to block some kicks. We'll be really, really exciting on special teams this year.
How's the linebacking core looking, Coach? Shane McClure last year had to make shift to the linebacking core a little bit, and obviously now a year recruiting and getting some more guys in it. Do you think that'll be one of those position groups that really has a chance to vastly improve?
Yeah, Devin, they're all back. So they're all back, and they're all a year older. And Aubrey Nelms is going to break out this fall with how fast he's playing right now. He'll break out and have a great senior year. Josh Dunn's a junior. Trent Whalen's a junior. Connor Cullimore's a sophomore. And then they're backed up by some young guys that we brought in here that are going to be really good players in the future.
What are the kids? What feedback do you get from the players? Maybe you don't talk about it when you're having team meetings and whatnot, but what are their thoughts on the schedule for the upcoming fall season, Coach? What feedback do you get?
You know what? I talk to our players about a lot of things. Talk to them about life and things that are going on in their lives and going on around here, and hey, world events, and we have those conversations. We don't talk about the schedule much. We don't, and it's going to be our philosophy, and it'll always be our philosophy. Guys, we're going to prepare as hard as we can possibly prepare Sunday through Friday, and just wake up Saturday morning and do the best job we can do. And that's never going to change. And, of course, that first game's on a Thursday night. So we'll start the Friday before, and we're going to take 7 days and prepare as hard as we can for the first game, and then wake up the following Thursday morning and go out there and tee it up and do the best job we can do.
Is there excitement around town? Do you feel it, with the 2 big FBS opponents, Arizona State, then BYU, both on the road, week 1 and week 2?
Do you guys think people should get excited about stuff like that?
Well, I do. I'm pumped up for you. Nobody's going to give you a chance, but guys like us that think you guys can go in there and shock the world.
We're probably going to play it closer than the experts think. Guys, we're going down there to pick up a paycheck for $500,000 so that we can play the other sports here at the university. That's what the game's scheduled for. The game's not scheduled for us to win.
Yeah, I know, but you're going to go compete. I promise people that. I know you. I don't know you that well, but I know you guys are going to bring the energy and you're going to play your tails off in those games.
We're never ever going to give one away now.
Yeah.
We're not going to give one away, but we win regardless.
Yeah, it's true.
So whether we win the game or not, we win regardless because 3, 4, 5 sports here at the university get to continue playing.
I know 5 home games this year. They all kind of come in a hurry, kind of in the middle of the season. You're on the road for the first 3-4 weeks, and then first 3 weeks to be precise. But then you got 5 of the next 6 at home. Do you like how that plays out as far as the scheduling is concerned?
I think if we get through September, we have a shot. We have a shot to do some damage in the UAC conference in October and November, and I'll lay it out. I haven't gone past September. But we go down and play Arizona State on the road for money, and then we go play BYU on the road for money. And then we go play Cal Davis on the road, and this is the best Cal Davis team in school history. And of course, you guys being, with your history with the Big Sky, y'all know a little bit about this. But this is they were 7 points away from making the playoffs last year, and they returned the entire football team. So this is their best team. We come home and play Western Illinois, and that's a game we match up well in, Western Illinois at home. And then we get Central Arkansas at home. And this is the best Central Arkansas team in history, and I'm shocked that they have four NFL prospects on their roster. They have 6 All-American prospects on their roster. When the FCS rankings come out and they do it by position, their number 1 running back in the country is at Central Arkansas. The number 6 running back in the country is at Central Arkansas. The number 22 tight end, 2 safeties in the top 25. The number 1 defensive end in the country, and then the number 9 defensive end in the country. And then you look at a lot of polls, Devin and Paul, you look at a lot of the polls, and they don't have them ranked. So, like, when you look at it, you go, well, damn, just how bad are the guards? Just how bad is the quarterback? Yeah, how possibly bad can the middle linebacker be? Because they got all these All-Americans and pro prospects running around, and they're not ranked. But this is their most talented team in school history. And that kind of rounds out our month of, August and September. If we come out of that with 2 or 3 wins and we're healthy, we've got to start to do some damage in October and November because we match up really, really well with our conference opponents.
Yeah, and Coach, I don't know how you feel about preseason polls, but I don't put a lot of stock in the preseason polls.
Well, I do this one in the last 25. You do FBS. In the last 25 years, there's been 2 national champions not ranked in the top 10 preseason. And then in the last 10 years, there's only been 2 teams not ranked that were ranked in the top 10 preseason and that weren't ranked in the top 25. No, I'm with you on not looking at the polls. So we won 8 games at a previous school. We won 8 games one year, finished second in the conference. In preseason, we were picked 9th.
Wow. Yeah.
So it went from 9 to 2. So I'm with you on not, but sometimes they get it right, sometimes they get it wrong. I just know this. On paper, that Central Arkansas team is really, really good.
Yeah, and that'll round out the month of September. Again, it's a great, challenging stretch there. Coach, I know you got lots to do right in the middle of your fall camp, getting ready for the season opener, but thanks for carving out a ton of time for us and talking T-Bird football, man. We always enjoy our chats.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Man, I appreciate y'all letting me talk. Thank you.
Yep. Tell Brady congrats, and tell Coach Mack I said hi as well, and tell Coach tell your old college roommate I like his suits, man. Tell him that too.
I'll tell them both. Go Thunderbirds.
Delane Fitzgerald live on The Drive on the Fan Sports Network. Quick timeout. We'll be right back.